Godfather of Irish Drill. Shout out my boy, Demi TV.
It's Wave God in this motherfucker. Hey, shout my nigga Demi T though.
That song pop like I'm Iggy. All they talking about is last night like I'm Demi. Say you got.
Rupees donated $5. Damn ski pulled the Michael.
Dean TV Cooler merch in the description box. Go copy, son. Click the link in the description box below and support your boy.
What's up, Dean family? Dean today we're doing a history on civil reaction, you feel me? And go check out this channel and the video in the description box below. And if you're watching this, happy Thanksgiving. How y'all doing? How the food y'all eating today tasting, you feel me? And listen to hear of that. Today we get into the first Thanksgiving, what really happened. You feel me? We're gonna learn about what actually happened, you feel me, in America. How they want to lie, and how they try to psychology shit to try to make the try to make the original people look bad type shit, make their ass look superior and all the other shit like heroes. Fuck y'all. Messing up history and trying to make our history a mystery. Fuck you, you feel me? But that's neither here or there. If you're new to the channel, like, comment, subscribe, and share the video on all social media. And comment below what we actually want to do next. And we're gonna get into it. Check out the merch in the description box below, and check out the Dean TV merchandise and the contest I'm about to be in this very soon. And it starts pretty soon. Voting starts very soon, so go vote for your boy. You feel me? Show you some love and support. And for those get into the reaction.
The first Thanksgiving. American schools generally teach a conventional story about the meeting of pilgrims and Indians that finished with an amazing dinner. The end. But there's more to the tale. This video will explain the events around the first Thanksgiving and how it's not the image ingrained in tradition.
Why they look like that? Like, yeah, that ain't what you thought, nigga. Like, what you thought, we just act that shit out.
At the start of the 17th century, southern New England was home to a variety of busy communities within several confederations. These were the people of the First Light, and they called their home the Dawnland. In the 17th century, southern New England was home to a variety of busy communities within several confederations. These were the people.
Pay attention how these people look. Look like my complexion, right? Look like some of y'all cousins, brothers, and sisters, you feel me? If you know, you know. Like, the original people, like, this is our land. I'm glad I did react to this video. Like, this shit is magnificent, man. We finna learn some shit.
People of the First Light, and they called their home the Dawnland. Political leaders were known as sachems and had been trading with Europeans for over 100 years before the Pilgrims. Relations soured only after deceitful Europeans kidnapped locals to sell as slaves.
That's fucked up. And this is how slavery started. The white people are the real beasts. And they try to paint the picture of the black people, all this type of stuff. But they are the real beasts and all this other shit. What the fuck? That's fucked up.
Permanent European settlement was impossible due to the already high population
Please
of native
leave.
occupants. But in 1616, tradesmen introduced a disease to the Dawnland, whose inhabitants died in droves from a lack of immunity.
That makes sense. That's crazy. So they said no, no, no. Then when it's time to make a trade, they accepted that trade. And that trade was leading to their downfall. That's how that old saying, like, all money ain't good money, you feel me? My grandma used to always tell me that all money ain't always good money, you feel me? Like, what's the cost that you're doing for this money, you feel me? Like, are you selling your soul, selling out type of shit, you feel me?
In 3 years, up to 90% were wiped out in several confederations, including the Wampanoag. Their head sachem, Massasoit, was aware of how close they were to being subjugated by their unafflicted enemy, the Narragansett. He was determined to save his people from such a fate. This was the political world the Pilgrims were about to enter. The Pilgrims were not called Pilgrims by their contemporaries. They were known as Separatists, a branch of the English Puritans. King James hated Puritans and began persecuting them in 1604, so the Separatists fled to Holland, where they were free to worship. But because they feared losing their national and communal identity, the congregation wanted a new place to plant their church. They decided on America and asked King James for a patent that would grant them rights to build a colony. They planned to make a profit catching fish to pay off the debts to their investors. The Mayflower...
So all this shit is all about money at the end of the day and profit. That's crazy.
set sail on September 6th. 2
And
months
patrol.
later, Cape Cod was spotted and 16 men were sent ashore to inspect the area. Unfortunately, the settlers didn't know how to fish and food was running out. They resorted to stealing from graves, homes, and storage pits to keep everyone alive.
That's
Then came their
ridiculous.
first hostile encounter with natives, but no one was killed. On December 12th, they reached New Plymouth. They did not...
They need to leave. The fuck, they were digging up their homies, their ancestors, and eating them niggas and trying to eat. Bro, that's fucked up. What the
land on any
fuck?
specific rock, but folklore insists they did. Construction began in January. By winter's end, 44 settlers would be dead from bad conditions. In March, they were surprised when a man named Samoset walked into New Plymouth, greeting them in English. He told them they were building on top of a village called Patuxet, whose residents had all died from the recent epidemic. It belonged to the Wampanoag, and their chief, Massasoit, was watching them. The settlers were eager to trade, so 5 days later, Samoset returned with furs and companions, including Tisquantum. Known famously as Squanto, he had come to tell them in perfect English that Massasoit had arrived. After years of dealing with Englishmen, the sachem did not trust the newcomers. Edward Winslow was sent to be a hostage and declared the settlers' peaceful intentions. Satisfied, Massasoit walked into New Plymouth and was regally greeted by the governor. A peace treaty was created, ensuring mutual protection if attacked by enemies. With the help of Squanto, New Plymouth settlers began to fare better. He taught them how to grow crops and was absolutely vital as an interpreter. To the separatists, he was a gift from God. But in fact, Squanto had been kidnapped from Patuxet in 1614 and shipped to Spain to be sold into slavery. He ended up in London at the home of a merchant who taught him English and arranged for Squanto's return to the Dawnland in 1619. But Patuxet was now gone, wiped away by the epidemic.
That's fucked.
Massasoit took him in with suspicion because of his years abroad, but needed a translator to parley with the newcomers. He eventually sent his warrior Hobamok to
That
live
Uchiha
among the
clan
settlers
shit is
and keep
this.
an eye on Squanto. By fall, the settlers had a bountiful harvest and a feast was held to celebrate. Massasoit showed up with 90 warriors and 5 deer for the meal. For 3 days, the English and Wampanoag ate and entertained one another. This was the famous first Thanksgiving children learn about in school. However, the word Thanksgiving would
So Thanksgiving actually happened in October.
not have been used by these settlers to denote a harvest feast. For Puritans, a day of Thanksgiving was a day of fasting while giving thanks to God in prayer. But the story of Pilgrims and Indians does not end here. During New Plymouth's first year, Squanto had been up to something. Realizing his substantial power as the only English speaker of his people, he conceived a plan to overthrow Massasoit. He
Wow.
persuaded locals he could command the English to make war or peace at his will.
Ain't no way.
Hobamok was suspicious of
So-
Squanto and warned Governor Bradford. Soon enough, they discovered Squanto's plot and informed Massasoit, who was furious. He demanded Squanto be handed over for a swift execution.
That's how about a snake.
Bradford refused. The interpreter was too valuable to give up. But according to the treaty, Squanto's life belonged in the hands of his sachem. Bradford finally conceded. He was about to hand over Squanto when an unidentified ship appeared. The alarm it caused delayed Bradford and worried Massasoit's envoys. Angered and impatient, they left. The ship carried 60 Englishmen planning to build a colony near Boston. They abused the Massachusetts locals, initiating a conspiracy to kill the
Ain't no way.
colonists. Warned about the plot, New Plymouth's leaders launched a preemptive strike to save their impudent countrymen. It brought peace.
Nah, what Malcolm had said, Clement Rock didn't land on us. We landed on Clement Rock. Making way more sense what he said. That shit blows your mind.
Bradford finally conceded. He was about to hand over Squanto when an unidentified ship appeared. The alarm it caused delayed Bradford and worried Massasoit's envoys. Angered and impatient, they left. The ship
Okay,
carried
so,
60 Englishmen planning to build a
wonder.
colony near Boston. They abused the Massachusetts locals, initiating a conspiracy to kill the colonists. Warned about the plot, New Plymouth's leaders launched a preemptive strike to save their impudent countrymen. It bought peace for a time. In that time, more Puritan settlers arrived, soon outnumbering the natives. And while the Pilgrims' Treaty with Massasoit
So basically, the colonization of America.
lasted until the Sachem's death, other Puritans were not concerned with such alliances. Their fanatic religious principles ensured no peace between the two cultures could last. To Puritans, Native Americans were the other, wild, savage, godless. With such an ideology, the outcome was inevitable.
That's crazy how they do say that in the religion. That's crazy. That's how racist. All this to divide and turn people against each other. That's crazy.
If they did not convert to Christianity and surrender their cultural identity, they had to be eliminated. The first Thanksgiving was a brief moment of harmony between two worlds, but sadly it was short-lived. The capitalist opportunities the Dawnland presented, combined with zealous puritanical beliefs, were incentive enough to wipe away the native inhabitants. There is nothing wrong with sharing a feast of thanks with loved ones, but remember the true events that started the holiday, and not the fairy tale.
Facts. These motherfuckers colonized our ass. It's some fuck shit. Oh man. Hope you guys like that Dean Found D Nation. Like, comment, subscribe, and share the video on all social medias. And comment below what reaction I'm doing next. See you guys next time. Love you guys. I'm out.